Okay, this is going to be personality disorders. So you have your clusters. A, absolute weirdos. B, bitches. C, you're cautious and weary. So we really need to talk about meds for this because, hallelujah, there are no meds. However, if somebody has paranoid personality disorder, we may give them an SSRI or an anti-anxiety medicine. But that is not, let me be really, really clear when I say this, that is not to treat the disorder. That is to treat the symptom of the disorder, okay? So we are only gonna use meds to treat symptoms, not the actual disorders. So jumping into cluster A, this is your odd and eccentric. So you have your paranoid. They're just paranoid. It's exactly what it sounds like. Don't overthink that. We don't want to be joking, no sarcasm with these people, because if we're doing that, they're going to be taking us dead serious. Then you have your schizoid. These are just your computer geeks that sit down all day and code and like play video games, whatever. So your schizoid, they're going to be detached, unemotional, they prefer solitude, and they also have weird interests. And then you have your schizotypal. Here's my sign for this. Schizotypal is a typo people to go to a furry convention. They're just weird. They will look weird. They do weird things. They're going to have your brightly colored hair. They're going to be wearing the tails. They want the attention. So for them, we just need to really bump up their self-worth. Okay, boom. That's cluster A. Tell me what paranoid is. Tell me what schizoid is. And tell me what schizotypal is. Okay, let's move on to cluster B. So cluster B, we have antisocial. These are your psychopaths. They are just absolutely bad people, but they are social people. Antisocial are social. So they are manipulative, okay? And they lack empathy. So as nurses, what we need to do, we have to set boundaries for ourselves. So we don't want to be getting manipulated like Harley Quinn and the Joker. Don't do that. We also, though, need to look out for the other clients. We don't want to put an 18-year-old with depression with a 36-year-old with antisocial, because that is just stupid. Okay, borderline. These are your people. They have the high highs, the high lows. This is like the people in the Victorian era that needed a little fainting couch. They just can't get over themselves, okay? We really need to watch out though. Self-harm. These people are going to try to harm themselves, not because they're depressed, because they want the attention from it. So Dr. Jones was talking about, she had the client that took all the pills. She wasn't doing that because she wanted to kill herself. She was doing that for the attention. That's borderline. Intense relationships, mood swings, and fear of abandonment. And so if you think about it, they're doing this stuff because they don't want to be left alone. So we're going to treat this with CBT, and we're also going to treat it with DBT. And DBT is specific for borderline. I'm going to say it, then you say it. What is DBT used for? Borderline. Borderline. That is a must know. And borderline people are at a big risk for suicide. Okay? Then we have histrionic. These are literally just the whores. They're attention seekers. Nothing else. They're just whores. Histrionic whore. Then you have your narcissist. These are mostly going to be people like officers, doctors, politicians, people of power, okay? So they maintain professionalism. And we, as nurses, we need to also have that professionalism with them. And we want to have a realistic self-appraisal. Their ego is going to be through the roof. So it's our job to knock them off that little high horse they're on. Everybody knows what a narcissist is. You know that. Don't ever think it. Okie dokie. Another thing to mention, my question to you, if somebody has ODD, out of which of these cluster B disorders do you think they're most likely to develop? So they have oppositional defiant disorder. What do you think they're most at risk for? Antisocial, borderline, histrionic, or narcissist? If you did not say antisocial, quit now. Turn the video off, get a new major. It's antisocial. Think about it, these antisocial, they lack boundaries, they lack empathy, manipulative. ODD, if left untreated, will result in antisocial, but it can be regressed through CBT. Treats everything. You got it? You better. Okay, now we have cluster C. This is your C for cautious. They're just anxious people, guys. You have your avoidant. They fear criticism, low self-esteem. They're just like in the corner. They don't want to be here. They're just avoidant of all social situations. So really just bump up that self-esteem. That's all we got to do here. Dependent. Dependent is like, it's like they can't do anything on their own. They're clingy. They need advice. They need approval. They don't want to adult. Okay? I want to be dependent because I don't want to adult. So dependent, no adulting. They need somebody. As nurses, we need to help the dependent become independent. So yeah, that's literally it. As nurses, we need to teach independence. And then you have your OCPD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessive compulsive personality disorder. So my question, do people with OCPD, do they have these obsessions? Do they have these compulsions? No. OCPD does not have obsessions and compulsions like OCD. If you said they did, give me 5 laps. 5 laps. Put it down. You knew better. OCPD, this is like the lawyer who's work. Everything has to be scheduled. Everything has to be set out. That's it. They're too uptight, man. They do not have the obsessions and compulsions, though. They don't. They're overly perfectionists. And that's your personality disorders. So my question time. Is schizoid or schizotypal? Which one of these dresses really weird? It's schizotypal, the type of people to go to the furry convention. Schizoid, this is like, just like your weirdo. These are your gamers. Okay, now here's your key terms you need to know. Splitting. Any guesses what splitting is? Exactly what it sounds like. Say I have bipolar disorder. I'm trying to manipulate you. Like, I want you on my good side. So I'm going to say, oh, Nurse Lauren, she's so mean to me. She's so bad. But I really like you. You're so nice to me. Manipulation. Stop it. Set the boundaries. Thank you. So splitting. This is just labeling people as good or bad. This is part of their manipulation. Okay, and that's for bipolar disorder and antisocial. Okay, and then we have secondary gain. This is just other people take care of me, so, you know, why not just let them? This is like somebody who gets in a car crash. They got in a car crash 5 years ago. Why the heck is their mom still taking care of them? No, get out of your mom's basement and get a job. The car crash was 5 years ago. You can do stuff. You can. My bills are paid. So what disorder would that be? Secondary gain. Who's benefiting from this? Dependent. If you didn't say dependent, start this series over. Rewind. So primary gain. We had our secondary gain, which we just said, and our primary gain. This is like, okay, I got hurt in the car crash, so now, you know what? I get the pain pills. That's our primary gain. That's it. Speaking of pain pills, we're moving on. Get ready. Pause if you need to. We're going to somatic symptoms and related disorder. So somatic symptom disorder, this is a pathological stress that manifests as physical symptoms. So this should be you right now if you can't tell me the personality disorders. You got it? You should be feeling your stomach turning. You should be getting that chest pain, high heart rate, stuff like that. This is like when you go on the first date, your stomach's going, you're getting the sweats. You have symptomatic symptom disorder. So can you tell me what neurotransmitter you think's acting up here? It's going to be norepinephrine. Think about it. You know, you're feeling that anxiety. You're fixing to have an anxiety attack. Your heart's pounding. You know, your pupils are dilated. This is norepinephrine. Okay? So what type of therapy do you think that we can do to help somebody with symptomatic symptom disorder? Guesses? You should be saying CBT. You know why? Say it with me. CBT cures it all. You got it? You better. Something else. So let's say somebody did come in with that increased norepinephrine rate. Their chest is pounding. What are we going to do? Are we just going to say, there, let's get you some counseling? That sounds right. Wrong. We're going to put an EKG on, make sure they aren't having an MI. Hello, medical first. Always, always, always. Then we have our hypochondriacs, which is a no-no term because, you know, we're trying to be inclusive. Illness, anxiety disorder. This is literally just the fear of having an illness. Get over yourself, get alive. That's all I have to say. Next, we have our functional neurologic symptoms. So let's go to a story time. I was in the ICU and I had a patient. She was having seizures, like she was seizing. She had minion pants on and she pooped her minion pants. Do you know what caused her to do that? Her boyfriend was beating her. Yeah. So she could not deal with her emotions. So she was physically having a seizure. So this functional neurologic symptom disorder, this is going to be neurological symptoms without a medical basis coming out. So we've got to get these people in some therapy. We need a trauma-informed care plan, and we need CBT. So these are really traumatic events that are coming out. This is like the wife that's so angry she can't punch her husband, so she loses feelings in her hands. That's functional neurologic symptom disorder. Body dysmorphic disorder. Hello, we grew up in the 20th century. We all know what body dysmorphia is. Come on now. Yeah, just do CBT. You got it. Watch some Lizzo. Do some TikToks. I don't know, man. Okay. So before we get to the Gypsy Rose, the Munchausen by proxy, we need to talk about malingering versus factitious. Okay, malingering versus factitious. Any guesses what malingering is? Any guesses what factitious is? Well, I'm going to tell you. Malingering is we're doing this for external gain. So a good example of malingering is I've been shooting up heroin for the past 27 years and I ain't got it no more, but I need my heroin. So what do? Hell, I'm going to the emergency room saying, oh, I broke my arm. Give me Dilaudid 0.7 right now. Oh, I broke my arm. They're doing this for external gain, okay? Malingering, they're going to end up in jail, okay? They are going to end up in jail. Malingering is external gain. Factitious, they're doing it without a fact, for attention, okay? Factitious is attention. Munchausen's, you know that. That's like purposely making yourself sick. You can do it for. You can be malingering or factitious with that. So that's just making yourself sick for either attention, or if you're malingering, it's going to be for the external gain. Munchausen's by proxy, this is Gypsy, you know, RIP her mama. I don't think she should have went to jail. That's just my opinion. So Munchausen's by proxy, this is just going to be somebody else is doing it to you. It's like the parent doing it to the kid. Okay? So this is our little thing here. Let me go over that. Is that it? Guys, that's it. Oh, I have some exam tips, actually. Okay, can you tell me, this is question time. Can you tell me what cluster A disorders are? Tell me what cluster B are, and tell me what C are. Can you tell me the difference between OCD and OCPD? Can you recognize intentional versus unintentional symptom creation? Can you prioritize safety and therapeutic rapport? Can you tell me the hallmark signs of BPD, antisocial, and factitious disorders? What's primary versus secondary gain? What's malingering versus factitious? And what the heck treats everything? CBT. If you did not say CBT right then, go ahead, drop out. Find a new major, switch to business. Okay, we're going to be moving on now.